Welcome back. You're watching Signature Television. Recently, the House of Representatives struck out a bill seeking a 6-year single-term tenure for presidents, governors, and local government chairmen. And one wonders why they have to strike out that particular bill. Apparently, it was initiated by a potpourri of members led by Ugo. But we have one of the persons who proposed that 6-year single-term bill, Professor Paul Nnamchi. He's a member representing Enugu East and Isiuzo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. Nice being with you.
Right. Before we get to the reason why the House struck it out, let's first of all ask you, why did you propose that particular bill? Is there a reason why? What's the intent of that particular bill?
The intent is more or less of two ways, short-term and long-term. On a short-term basis, we're looking at stability and also to the control of the syndrome of second tenure avarice, where people just come into the first tenure, they don't work, rather they start looking for how to come back. So to stabilize the polity, so that people, when they come, they want to leave legacy. But at the same time, we're looking at also the control of the corruption, where people tend to acquire money for them to also come back. Also, people dwell on patronage instead of the real governance of dividends of democracy. These are part of it. If you also look at in a long term, you may say that maybe other areas of democracy they do is usually for people consolidate on their legacies over time with the second tenure phenomenon. But so I think for our people to also see in the long term that what you are coming to do in governance is leaving legacy and also making people happy, and also bettering the people you are placed under. You are people you are meant to cater for. That's because the focus has changed, and that's why that bill was coming, so that the people refocus themselves. Like when you're in the position of authority, you now know what you've come for. You now dwell on making the 6 years your cardinal signature, not the signature TV by the way, but the signature of being. You want to see a legacy that you leave behind, instead of from day one you've leave what you've come for to do with the other one. Then when you come to that second tenure proper, you're not just that you're tired, but you're knowing that you're not coming again. You're not acquiring money, not putting anything on the ground. These are part of the things. However, the second tenure of 4 years is not pretty bad compared to what compared. The only thing that just the mindset and the perception has to change.
Yeah. Quite interesting. Well, yeah. I was also going to ask, if this intention is quite smooth and good, would you say the reason why it was struck out was because you people did not lobby properly and you did not meet critical stakeholders? Because the way it was struck out it was just like, we don't really need this. It was put to voice vote and the people voted against it.
No, in politics, you do have to build bridges. There's two things you look at when you're trying to make a bill. God willing, I've had a lot of bills that no one has struck out, but there's things you look at. One is your image as the bill proposer. What does people look at you as? What is the perception of your colleagues? Will they see the genuinity in you? That is by the way. They also think about what is the religious aspect of it. What is the ethnic aspect of it in the case of our client? Then what's the geopolitical notion? Because a lot of us, 360 of us, represent one area or the other. No one is greater than the other. It's just about the national nomenclature. Then when those people come, you are going to meet what you vote, whether you first vote or no vote. The people, when there's a chorus of yes, and you didn't raise up your hand to say no, Yeah, people knows that it's either you are supporting them or you kept silent. So when you go home, you're accountable to them. So if maybe there's something you think that people will feel that if the bill were to go through, that maybe a section will feel that they are going to be shortchanged. In a short term, sometimes we are a bit short-sighted in our approach to politics. And that short-sightedness affects a lot of things. And also our planning for governance. If we are a particular region at a particular time feels that this is going to be against them, expect them to vote no in that particular issue. Whether we like it or not, ethnicity, religion, tribe, as my case may be, and also and a lot of lobbying plays a vital role. So it is either one of these points. I can't just say, I haven't done analysis to say what is this, and I haven't gone to the member to verify what actually happened or something like that. So at some point, but I can tell you, this one of these things played out, and there also were people also averse to change most of the time. So change is very difficult to effect in politics, because a lot of people will think about the negative side than the positive side. This is about people. And some people also think about there are people that are excited about new things, but most people are never excited about new things. They want to remain conservative. And we're in a very conservative society. As you could also see in many other things like the bill for women or bill for widows, and also we are in a conservative environment. And religion plays a very vital part in our palace. People will feel, okay, it is now going to be our turn, then it's going to be different. There's a lot of political things, and maybe, however, if lobby is strong, anything can pass. Because in politics, most times they say in politics, even the devil can go to heaven.
You talked about giving a 6 years tenure to achieve so many things that political leaders have in store. I believe it's how well and not how long. So what is the guarantee that even within these 6 years, these things can be accomplished? And what's the guarantee that people won't take advantage of the time frame to siphon money and still go back on their promises?
I like doing things from my perspective in analysis or mathematics, because usually I'm an engineer, so I usually like to do it calculatively. If I tell you how much just people spend for campaign, it's enormous. If there's any fraud, it is the fraud to give money for election. And how you're just a short of 2 years. The money the person will spend in campaigning to come back is more than the money what he will do in that remaining 2 years. Remember, it is 8 years with campaigning in between. 6 years, no campaigning in between. Okay. Just if you look at this, the money that was used for infrastructure applied into campaign. And that you do 6 years or you do 4 years, that don't remove EFCC or ICPC from tracking your funds. So if you check how much people spend in elections, we're just trying to trim down the cost of governance, trim down the cost of electioneering. I'm not sure, but the issue is that it is neither here nor there. But the major fact is that the other one has its own merit and its demerit. So 8 years has also merit and also demerit. So, but what is the beauty of politics is the majority will carry the day. So today, majority has said we want 8 years to persist, and 8 years continue to remain until something changes. That's where we are.
Do you think, and I mean, you mentioned as one of the reasons, maybe one of the reasons why it did not scale through was because probably where the person comes from and the region where the person comes from. Do you think that may have played a role in basically killing this particular bill? Because some people would also say that if this person sponsored this bill, and it may be a Yoruba person or maybe a Northerner, maybe it would have scaled.
No, it's not actually where the person comes from. Not the perception about the person is what his own personality. It's not about where he comes from. The region, why I not mention regional ethnicity is that people will feel that when it reaches their own term, that they want to have 8 years. Do you understand? And not the region where the person proposing the bill is from. The person is doing it out of his own love for the country, out of what he thinks that Nigeria may gain more. And looking at that from that positive angle, I like to look at things that from that direction. But there's people that will feel when it comes to our own region, we must do 8 years. Others have done 8 years. We want to. That's why I tell you, change is quite difficult to effect in our own clan. But people tend to think about what of this and why this, why not this. So, but it's also courageous enough. The people that propose bill are also courageous. But this is a place that you can't move bill without people attaching negative things to it. So it is also courageous enough. It's just being courageous. Even if you want to stand up and propose such a strong bill that may also attract some divisive, divisive tendencies and also perception, because your bill stick to you. Your bill is what you propose. It is you. Personally, your face is there. Even after the first person, it becomes the house. But the person that passed it is also important in that first time. It is the way he lobbied. It is the way he has met people. You can defend all those things, but at last, if the majority or if the thing does not go well with many people or many sections of the country, you can do nothing, no matter how good it is. No matter how outlandish what you think you are going to do portrays. They always have the saying, the minority might have their say, might have their opinion, but majority will have their way. So it comes to play in politics. However, that doesn't mean that it cannot be reintroduced. Do you understand? Sometimes you leave things for maturity. Time heals every wound. And by the way, how did it come to be? Why it came to be is that a lot people are feeling disgruntled. People are feeling that politicians are changing them. Remember, it is not actually what governments are doing, but what the taxpayers' money is doing. So when the people feel angry about things, and moreover, most times people will just go, politicians do this, politicians do that, and everybody carries the name. Whether you do wrong or you are not the one doing it, you take the blame, because you actually placed at the helm of affairs. So that is why the bill was to also make people know that to actually curtail things, some excesses that are leading to, or that might be the reason why some of these democracy dividends are not reaching where it should reach, are not as big as should have been. However, I also know that the economic impact is also one of the cardinal points that is because politics can be diverse from economies in terms of it. Economies, security, and politics go hand in hand. If there's good environment, the policy is stable. If there's good economies, the policy is stable, because the people will be happy, and there's more things to do. The masses will feed, because you can't preach to somebody that is hungry. These are the points that you will look at and say that we need all these things panned together for the people to feel well. At the moment, there's a whole lot of inflation. There's a whole lot of high cost of living and all that. And the people if the people don't feel the impact, they are not happy. Yeah. Right. Thank you.
The bill also sought to make it possible for all elections to be held on one particular day. Could you walk us through that process?
How it will be? So this is also the same mathematical aspect again, where instead of doing election 2 days, you do all of them, because it's just the same paper you're giving to people. The money for the other day, for the money for presiding officers, logistics, security, and everything will be turned into one. If a country as big as US, more populated than us, and the landmark more than us, will do their whole election in 1 day. Why can't we?
But most gubernatorial elections are held differently, different states. It's
You mean in Nigeria or
in Nigeria? In Nigeria. So how is this supposed to be possible?
No. The thing is that when they say that the election will hold the same day, that doesn't mean that it changes the off-season election.
Okay.
The off-season election is off the game.
Okay.
You understand? And I can also tell you, I am also proposing a bill. There's one first reading on Thursday. The bill I'm proposing is that there will be also off-season for legislators. Not just, because you can't tell me. I'll give you an example with what happened in Enugu shortly. It was actually the inspiration that I got from that. Let's say the person representing the North and the South local government is Honorable Dennis Abu. Oh. He came in and the election was kind of annulled and they went for another election. And before they finished the appeal, a tribunal appeal on the second one, the National Assembly has stayed 1 year and 6 months. And before he now returned. Then, in about 2.5 years again, or in about 2 years again, he's facing another election. Or less than 2 years. He's facing another election. I think what is good for the sheep is good for the goat too. So, on that instance, he should be allowed to spend his 4 years that have been cut short by legal bottlenecks and issues. So, if there is off-season election for legislators in the US, there's off-season election for legislators in UK and many other advanced countries. Okay. You're allowed it because you are sustaining a particular people. Those times they're in court. Even the person there doesn't have rest of mind to represent the people. He is off and on in court and going to the lawyer's office every time. So he's not, actually the people are not represented within that period. I was in court for several times within the time I won election. And I know how it is. You can't be concentrated. Both the person fighting and you in the field wouldn't be. You are not sure. This is legal things. You don't know whether it will be by technicality they will remove you. You don't know whether anything happen. It's a very dicey situation. Once you're in court, you're in court. Your decision lies on some other people. Both lawyers and judges. It is not longer about you. It's no longer. So it is also possible. So for the people to enjoy what they have done. For the people even to have some respite after those bruising elections, because usually the election is not easy, and they spend a lot of money just on trying to do this. So there should be off-season election even for legislators.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to follow up on what you just said, I thought that within the time frame that somebody is in court and the other person is there. That when the person eventually wins who has gone to court, whatever monies that has been paid to this person, whether it's salaries, constituency funds, are taken from him and given to this person who had won. Is that not what the practice is?
No, that's not the rule, because he is at the moment taken to be represented. And how does he come to work without salary? Or do you want to deny the people completely because they're in court?
No. Like everything that he has, does it mean that every payment that's been made to him stays, and the person who takes over maybe 2 years into continues until the tenure finishes?
Yes, continues from the day he removes the other.
So the salary is paid to this person, constituency funds given to this person.
Yes,
he goes with it.
Yes, he has already represented the people that time, and from that he is not the person. The people, assuming he's not the one, the people's choice, and he's there. So there is need that the other person stays the 4 years. And also, there's also the need that we finish legal process even before swearing in. The legal process should be for such things. But these are part of it. But to forestall it, another avenue is to have off-season election for legislators as well. Because it's just the same thing. It's about representation, both for the governors, both for the president, and also for the legislators too.
Wow. That's quite profound, really. I mean, I never thought about it that way. Yeah. But this is quite eye-opening. I don't know. Are you going to propose it immediately when you get back, or it's going to be something that you wait a little bit for?
If I have my phone, I will tell you the bill has been passed first reading.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
The bill passed first reading on Thursday.
Okay.
So it's already done. So I'm eagerly waiting to defend it for the second reading. And I'm hopeful the House will not disappoint us.
Okay, fair enough. I'm still very curious about that exchange, like somebody going to court and then striking this person out. I know that accommodation given to House of Rep members and senators as well. Does it mean that the person vacates the home?
Accommodations are not given to House of Rep members. Contrary to the people's, the popular view by the people, you are given 3.2 or 3.4 million for 4 years as accommodation. But the people, erroneously, probably people don't know a house is a place that is, nobody defends the house individually. But I can tell you, because I'm involved, I'll tell you, what is given for accommodation is 3.2 or between 3.2 and 3.4. And it is also deducted from your money, this thing. And it's for 4 years.
Wow.
Nobody talks about it. Okay, even the car you're given is deducted over the 4 years. If you become a minister today, they bring 3 cars for you, new cars from the day you become a minister. It isn't so, but with the house. You are given a house, or you're given a car. Maybe after some 2 months you start, you are given the car, and the money they continue to deduct the money for the 4 years. The same way, you can verify this. The accommodation is 3.2 or 2.2, 3.3 for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So no house is given, because the house that the administration built then in 1999 was monetized to those legislators then. So there's no accommodation. You find where you're going to live.
Wow.
So,
but that's actually a subset of what I was going to ask. So there is no accommodation, there's nothing giving. The vehicles are not giving.
The vehicles are given, but deducted from your
pay. So what happens at that time when if a vehicle has been given to a legislator and then he is sacked by the court? Do they stop? Do they collect the vehicle? Do they stop this person and then they transfer the vehicle? What really happens?
No, in terms of the vehicle, I don't know the nitty-gritty of that aspect.
Okay.
Excuse me. The ones I know very well is that of allowance and salary.
Okay.
It goes to the person there, and you can't tell the person that you can return it because he was there within that period.
Okay.
Yeah. So the bill I'm proposing, or I have proposed to the House, is that there should be an off-season, like as Dennis came from Enugu. I'm using Dennis because he's from the state, and people are familiar with him. As he just came in last month, or within the beginning of this month, and tenant should also start running from that till the other time, so that when it's finished, just like you do in the US and the other, the people vote at when their tenure elapses. But what is peculiar to one state may be different from the other states.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, you hear people stand from their comfort zone to procrastinate for people who are also in difficult. Our people should also be objective enough to look at the other person, what the other person is suffering, because that is empathy. Governance is also about empathy, fairness and justice. He has gone through all these things. You are staying 4 years. The other person is not staying. I just stayed 2 years. It's not that about the gain, but it's also about representation from the people. It's not that just after 2 years they are calling their people again out. After having come out for about 2 or 3 times, they are calling them out again to come and vote. Let them have their own peace and do their other elections the other time. But exceptions are where the vacation of seats is about bets.
Okay.
Or where the vacation of seats is about recall. So there's no need for another off-season because you are completing another person's tenure. But in this case, you are not. In the other case, where it is by judicial processes, you are not completing another person's tenure. It is your tenure that should be completed, or the tenure of that particular person should be completed. That's the aspect of looking at it.
All right, we're wrapping up now. Maybe just 2 quick questions. I'm going to just, maybe you can rush through for us. You are representing Isiuzo
Enugu
Isiuzo for the constituency. There are major issues in Isiuzo access. I'm sure you must have heard that farmers' headers clash. What is your office doing in that regard?
It is in terms of security. I made mention that the security the governance or everything doesn't divorce itself from security and also from economies. When somebody is attacked, his economy is attacked. He is destabilized or displaced. His household sometimes are burnt, and also they are also dependents or dependents. And things about security, you need something like provision of good roads, provision of light as part of the thing, endanger security, because there are certain things people will not do in daylight. These are the things we are doing by one complementing federal government and local state government's efforts in terms of road production, road construction. Also providing those cardinal places. We provide solar light, so that at any point there will be light in that during the night, and also the daylight, they will see where they're going. These are the cardinal things. Then another thing is that you also provide things for the people that have been displaced. We've been doing that. Then another aspect is that the informed security. Provide for them, give them information, and this is what I've done. The Chief of Defense Staff has also sent people there to ascertain the situation. When the late Chief of Army Staff was around, he also sent people. There are also some soldiers that were also kept there for some time that has stabilized the place. For some time now, there has been a little bit of stability in terms of those things, and then also the backroom engagement between the people in Agaya community, which is in Benue State, and that's all the people in Enugu this side, which also with the security being in charge. I also commend the people from DSS, the army, and the police in the way they have piloted affairs. The last person I there, one Captain Onwe, they did a lot of work. But also know that it takes a lot of money to keep the soldiers in those fields. So we also commend the state government for also coming to the aid of those people, in terms of provision of those people. Well, we might also know that I moved a bill that made the Chief of Army Staff to come to see for himself then, so that to know that the situation is very dire and the people need assistance, and that has been persistent. But more importantly, I will also see that when there's no further attack, but when attack actually occur, that the people are held responsible. Because if you don't hold people responsible, there will be no deterrent, and it must also continue. So I look forward to seeing when anybody when there's attacked, the people that did the attack will also be apprehended and brought to justice.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We're following your developments, in the House of Assembly. You have presented...
House of Rep, yeah.
House of Rep, yeah. You have presented the unprecedented number of bills since 1999 up until this moment. We've counted, and it seems you are the highest so far, and the year is not even 2 years yet. So we're looking forward to more bills.
Yeah. Well, in as much as God gives us strength and also see things, and maybe the people also, what the people tells you. I'll give you an instance. I came to visit orthopedic, and they told me, they drew my attention that since 2021, the cost of medication has remained the same, but the dollar exchange has also gone haywire. That's what can we do? I went back to the house and drew up a bill that the cost of NHIS be reviewed. So the bill is as a result of people's engagement. So now it has been moved to the Committee on Pulmonary Health, and the reasons are there, but people's mind may not be drawn to it. But once you call your legislator, look at this, he now see the need. There's a stopgap that needs to be done. That's how governance should also work. It is a people-oriented, because this is the people's house. So people-oriented bill, the bill that will impact on the people. That's what it is. And so that's so much more, and others we do is a result of that. I told you about the off-season election. The inspiration came because somebody from my state was out of the house for a year and 6 months, and they just came back And after some time, you'll be looking at him as he's preparing for another election. I said, no, even though it is not peculiar, it is not about me. But somebody has to say something different. And somebody has to draw attention to this. That's how most of the bill comes from.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Paul Nnamchi.
Nnamchi. Yeah.
All right. We appreciate you so much
Thank
for
you
your
so much.
input. Truly appreciate you. And we ask that God gives you strength further, to do more.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Join us again right after this. To stay with us.